Batman has always been my favorite superhero of all time for as long as I can remember. From his costumes, to his gadgets, to his supporting cast, to his stories. But what truly makes him my favorite, what truly defines Batman to me, is his character. I believe Batman is one of the most well-written fictional superheroes of all time due to his interesting, complex, and complicated character. He is in a world that is surrounded by powerful beings and gods, yet he's able to make himself have a strong presence in that world. He is a man with no superpowers, no alien origin story, no science experiment gone wrong that made him stronger. He is just a human that experienced the worst night of his life at an early age. A human that used that pain he suffered to create a purpose, channeled his fear into his greatest weapon. A human that fights the monsters of Gotham City by becoming the strongest and scariest monster of them all. He was able to channel his grief into strength, lost into fear, fear into a vow. That is what makes Batman's character so remarkable. He managed to become a symbol, a guardian, a legend. But there comes a duality buried deep within that legend. A duality that sticks to him no matter how much progress he makes. Because even with all that strength he found through that suffering, deep down he's still caught in a cycle of suffering internally. Behind the mask is a man that never truly healed. A man that carries his grief like the very shadow he uses in his crusade. With every victory comes a sacrifice. With every battle comes a loss. He tries his best to save others from falling into the very darkness that consumes him every day, yet he is unable to pull himself out. But the icing on the cake about his character is the question that he's constantly struggling to answer. A question of identity. Who is the mask and who is the man beneath? In hindsight, it should be pretty obvious. But to the character, that is a complicated question that he doesn't even know the answer to. Is Bruce Wayne simply a facade? A billionaire playboy cover for the real Dark Knight? Or is Batman the costume he wears to hide the vulnerable human inside? And no show has ever captured Batman's juxtaposition more beautifully than Batman the Animated Series. This series didn't just tell Batman's story, it explored the man beneath the myth, the pain he hides, the lines he won't cross, the identity he clings to. And though there are so many episodes that explore this concept and elaborate on Batman's character, no episode digs deeper into that identity and to the cost of being Batman than the episode Perchance to Dream. The episode Perchance to Dream does an amazing job at displaying the relationships of Batman and Bruce Wayne and displays the toxicity that it holds. The episode starts very generic with Batman chasing a couple of goons. However, a metal container falls on him and he suddenly wakes up in his house. He is confused on how he got back, and when he asks Alfred what happened, Alfred is confused by what Bruce is asking.
How'd I get back here? Robin?
Robin, sir? A young lady?
The entrance to the Batcave, why is it sealed up?
Batcave? I'm sorry, I don't...
Bruce is puzzled by Alfred's response, and he becomes even more puzzled when he sees his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, alive. The two people that started this whole crusade. The people that started this whole chain of events in Bruce's dark and emotional life. Bruce immediately tries to solve the mystery and see why everything in his life becomes abruptly perfect. His parents are alive and he's the head of Wayne Enterprises, not because of his parents' early demise, but due to them stepping down so their son can come into power. Selina Kyle is his fiance, not the anti-hero Catwoman that's known as a crook in Gotham City. Gotham City has a masked vigilante known as Batman, but Bruce is a spectator of Batman, not a participant. When he tries to get help from his longtime friend Dr. Leslie Tompkins, he explains that he feels nothing is real anymore. Up is down, down is up, and the world he knew is in reverse. The dark world he once knew is completely shined so bright. Leslie Tompkins explained to Bruce that his feelings are normal and make sense.
You've led the sort of life where everything has been handed to you, even Wayne Enterprises. You don't feel you've accomplished anything. It's all been laid out for you. So your unconscious created a life more satisfying to you. You've identified with someone whose every deed has great value.
His billionaire playboy persona was now authentic, casting out Batman and leaving Bruce Wayne. And what's important to take away is that the second Bruce hears this, his face lights up like a star. No longer is he haunted by the darkness. No longer is Batman taking control of Bruce Wayne's life. No longer is Bruce Wayne forced to be something for someone else. Bruce Wayne finally has control over his own life, his own destiny. All of the villains and trauma and pain and suffering are now gone. Batman is no more, and there's only Bruce Wayne. And if someone called him a spoiled, selfish, undeserving rich boy, he will agree and have a big smile on his face, because at least he decided that for himself. Bruce is excited and teases with Alfred about finding the entrance to the Batcave in his library, because he believes he's finally at peace. Or so he thinks. When he tries to read a book, he knows something is wrong, and when he looks at the screen of the TV, he starts to place blame.
Batman!
Local law enforcement.
Always Batman!
When I saw this, I felt more and saw more than what meets the eye. The furious tone wasn't just for the sake of the scenario, it was a deep emotion that's constantly deep inside of Bruce. Even when he has it all, even when he finally believes he won and got everything in his life, Batman is the one that takes it all away. Batman will always be a part of Bruce Wayne's life and he hates it. He hates the fact that he can never escape even if he runs forever. Batman will always catch up and jeopardize the life he always wanted. Even though he hates to admit it, Bruce Wayne and Batman are intertwined, to the point that he knew where this mysterious Batman would be when it was time to confront him. After fighting each other, he finds out that it was the Mad Hatter, and it was all a dream that Mad Hatter hooked Batman up to. When Batman breaks out and confronts Mad Hatter, the anger is so presentable. The amount of pain he is in because he thought he could have it all is now gone and perished. And when Commissioner Gordon asks him what the device is and what does it do, Batman says,
The stuff that dreams are made of.
but he doesn't say it with confidence or passion or charisma. It was almost like he wishes he stood in that dream. In just 22 minutes, this episode perfectly displayed just how destructive these two can be. Though they are the same person, they couldn't be any more different from each other. Usually heroes can work to find a blend on their personal life and their hero life. Although they struggle with it at first or for a while, they eventually find that balance. But when it comes to Batman and Bruce Wayne, there isn't any balance. There will always be a confliction between the two. Bruce Wayne holds Batman responsible for all the pain and suffering in his life. In Bruce's dream, you see him having his first chance to do whatever he wants to do, enjoying every moment in his life. However, even in a dream where Bruce gets to make decisions, Batman interrupts every single one. When Bruce spends time with his fiancée, Batman comes into the frame and steals away the spotlight from them, doing tricks and capturing and defeating crooks and soaring away by his grappling hook. Bruce is actually amazed at what Batman is doing,
Isn't he fantastic?
Actually, yeah.
even though he can literally do the same thing as Batman and then some, especially in other episodes of the animated series. This scene tells you about Bruce's personal feelings towards Batman. It's of inferiority. He feels that Batman is more special and more important than him, to the point when he wants to relax and take this new life in and wants to read a newspaper. All the words are in gibberish, but the one thing that's clear is a picture of Batman. Bruce has such a negative emotion towards Batman that he wouldn't connect to anyone else. The news, the television, and public. Even though Bruce Wayne is the Prince of Gotham City, Batman takes away the spotlight off of him consistently. Batman's schedule is more important. Bruce was always unable to have his own schedule and been forced to give into Batman's work. But was whatever Bruce wanted to do as important anyway? Batman feels that Bruce Wayne is a nuisance to him. In the dream, Dr. Leslie tells Bruce that he made up being the Batman because he feels he had everything laid out for him, so he created a life more satisfying to him, where he deserved whatever he got. But this isn't just random words. In this part of the dream, this is probably coming from Batman's subconscious mind. Batman is showing his thought on Bruce being useless. Why should Bruce have Batman's respect if he can't do anything? Batman's lack of respect for Bruce and Bruce's anger for Batman makes them like water and oil, never being able to mix well together. In the dream, you even see it with the relationship between Bruce's parents and Batman. Batman can't exist without the death of Bruce's parents, and Thomas and Martha Wayne can't exist with the existence of Batman. Throughout the dream, everyone in Bruce's life, Alfred, Selina, Dr. Leslie, comes across a reference or a conversation about Batman. However, it's interesting that there's never a time that Batman and Bruce's parents are on the same scene as each other. Batman has never been mentioned by name or been seen in front of Thomas and Martha Wayne, and vice versa. When Bruce is angry and blaming Batman for ruining the dream, he destroys the TV that has Batman on it, before his parents come into the frame, almost symbolizing that they both can't coexist and one of them has to be sacrificed. Bruce's preference being Batman by striking the TV. What's even more interesting is that Bruce battles Batman and it turns out to be Mad Hatter. The evil villain could have been anyone, but in Bruce's subconscious mind, the best person to take on this role was Batman, almost making a reference that in Bruce's story, Batman is the villain. But instead of defeating Batman in the dream, he jumps off the building, symbolizing that Bruce can't defeat the Batman. He's forced to sacrifice himself. After Bruce falls, he wakes up from the dream, sad that it wasn't a reality. But the Mad Hatter seems confused as to how Batman woke up, giving an impression that he wasn't in control of it, but it was just the machine working. He even told Batman when he got out that he was willing to give him whatever life he wanted just to keep him away from his. So because of Batman and Bruce Wayne's relationship, are they both unable to have the perfect world? Or because of Batman, can Bruce never obtain what he wants? This blurred line between Bruce and Batman is a constant struggle, a battle not with just Gotham's criminals, but within his own soul. This tension between persona and person is where the true complexity of his character lies, and it's what makes his story resonate so deeply. And that's why I love Batman. Not because he's perfect, but because he's broken and still chooses to continue. Because his story isn't about power, it's about endurance. It's about a man who's constantly at war with crime and himself, and still refuses to stop fighting.